Tracey L. Fisher. Welcome to a Reentry Point of View. I'm here with our friend, Mr. Jason White from OIC. How you doing?
Doing well, thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Listen, I was very interested in finding out about y'all. My chief of staff, Dr. Carl Simmons, said you'd have to meet this organization. They're doing good work in the city. So I said, okay, great. So now you're here. You're in front of my audience. Explain what OIC is.
Okay. Well, first I want to thank you, Mr. Fisher, for having us in. Sure. It is surely a pleasure, and I had the privilege of learning about the work that you've been doing, and I must say it is remarkable.
Thank you.
And the work that we're doing at OIC of America is really to encourage individuals that have challenges in various different forms to reach their quote-unquote mountaintop. And I must say you're truly an example of someone that have really climbed through the challenges and have made a significant impact, not just on for yourself, but also for society. And I want to thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So,
how long OIC been in existence?
Okay, so OIC have been in existence since 1962, so over 50 years now, and I have the privilege of being with the organization now for 8 years. My name is Jason White, as Mr. Fisher has mentioned, and my role at OIC of America, I'm the Director of Strategy and Operation. So I really spend a lot of time thinking through what we're doing and trying to figure out ways to enhance or impact so that the work that we're doing really translates into real value for the participants that we serve. OIC of America is a national network that consists of 34 affiliates in 22 states. We have over 150 programs up and running on any given day.
Wow.
So.
That's good. Now, what type of these programs, these programs consist of?
Yes. So currently, one of the things that I would like to emphasize is that we do have, we're in the process of building national programs. We have been serving the underserved population now for over 50 years, as I had mentioned. One key program I want to highlight, especially considering the nature of our conversation, is a re-entry program.
Absolutely.
That we're administering. It's a national program that's currently in 7 cities. And the 7 cities are Philadelphia, being right here in Philadelphia. There's Wilson, North Carolina, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, Springfield, Ohio, Miami, Florida, and Newark, New Jersey. And then there's also the 7th city is Miami, South Florida. Yeah. So that being said, what we're focused on is really serving the participants that we do serve in a way by taking time to understand their unique needs and their challenges, really meeting where we are. I remember I was looking at your 10-step process.
Absolutely.
Mr. Tracey, and one of the things that I like about your 10-step process that aligns with what we're doing is it's really focused on meeting the individual where they are and understanding exactly where they are and how to work with them to help them to create a path towards reintegrating back into society in a successful way.
Absolutely. And how successful have y'all been?
Well, at this point in time, we have served, the program itself has been in operation back in South Florida. That's where it started since for over 13 years now.
Right.
Recently, we've been expanding the program nationally. And so we've been serving over 1,200 individuals in the last 2 years.
Wow.
So because we're taking a national approach, but in a personal way, we're able to get individuals into high-paying career pathways. But obviously, you and I would understand that it does take time for them to actually get to that point.
So y'all also, that means then y'all also structured to work with other organizations?
Yes. That's actually a great point. So one of the things that we are fully aware of is that for us to really be effective, we have to be fully integrated in the community so that as we spend time understanding the needs of the individual, if within the confines of our organization we do not provide those services, we can connect them with the resource that they need to address their specific need in an effective way.
So y'all taking a Reverend Sullivan approach.
Yes, that is the founder of our organization. So we have been really, in some regards, taking the torch, so to say, and following his principles that he has established over 50 years ago.
Okay, and where do you see OIC in the next 5 years? Where would you like to see it at?
That's actually a great question, and that actually gets me excited. That gets me excited because it really leads me to share some of the work that we've been doing recently with our national network. Where I do see OIC of America in the next 5 years is really being, continuing to develop a real strong footing in our local community, to, in some regards, continue to serve as a bridge to get those who have real barriers to employment and sustainable living back into the workforce so that they can support their families and their community and obviously advance themselves personally as well. That is what we've been doing over 50 years. So that's like my way of saying we're going to continue doing what we're good at, which is to serve those who are in needs.
And I myself has been incarcerated for 22 years, so I understand the entry on both sides, as far as being in and being out.
Yeah.
And I do know for a fact the entry start the first day they bring you through that door. So do OIC has any type of future plans of connecting with organizations such like Gateway or anything other like that, and going back into the prisons and establishing OIC there, so when they come home it's a smoother transition to come to OIC and they be very familiar with, like you said, go to where they at so you can bring them to where they need to be. Any plans with that?
Yes, and that's a great point. So we're literally in the process right now of continuing to learn and continuing to grow our program. And one of the things that we have literally a few weeks ago we started really looking closely at is how do we get connected with organizations that are serving from before individuals are released, so pre-release, right? Because what we learn is that if we're able to support individuals that are behind the bars, so to say, as they're preparing to transition and engage them, especially around their cognitive thinking and really reframing, helping them to reframe their thought process regarding this major change that's going to happen after they leave incarceration, we can actually help them in a more profound way. So we're definitely interested in working with organizations like yours that is connected to that level, and other organizations that that are serving individuals even before their release.
Right. Now, OIC has to understand what I had to come to understand.
Yes.
There are senior citizens coming home now.
Very true.
That was juvenile lifers. And they went in at 16, 17 years old.
Yeah.
They done did 50 years. You know, now here you have a juvenile lifer coming home as a senior citizen telling you they need employment and need a place to stay. Is OIC preparing themselves to actually deal with that? Because it caught me off guard.
Yeah.
So I'm sharing that with you.
Yeah.
So you have to get a structure now, because it's more than just dealing with a youth coming home.
Correct.
And a young adult coming home. You're dealing with a senior citizen that never been in society in their youth.
Yes.
And they grew up inside of a wall, a protected facility, and now they back out here looking for OIC to have all the answers to their transition. What is OIC doing to prepare for that?
Okay. So one of the things that we're fully aware of is that our program is a process of development. And then Mr. Fisher just emphasized one very important thing, which is how do you meet individuals, for example, that have been behind bars for pretty much all their lives and are coming back out later on in life. And the way that we are preparing to deal with that currently is to seek to expand our resources, right? So that we can increase the plethora of service that we have. And because, as you said, because our goal is to meet individuals where they are, each individual is unique and may need
like
specific. Exactly. So our goal is to continuously continue to identify how we can get additional supporters to the table, additional stakeholders to the table, so that as we identify the need that the specific individual have, we do have resource and in some regards a path to help them to transition and to meet them exactly where they are.
And one of the things, that's a good answer, because one of the things that the Gateway found out is you have to start dealing with some of the local politicians in utilizing the strength of their office, not them personally,
Yes.
but the strength of their office,
Yeah.
which supposed to be able to provide housing, certain type of incomes, resources for these individuals,
Yeah.
so that they can transition, make your job easier, helping them to transition back into society.
Yeah.
And do you have any plans, or do OIC already have any connections as far as in the political world,
Yeah.
to where they can actually discuss certain situations and issues with political individuals?
Yeah, definitely. And one of the strengths of, or the assets that we do have as a national organization that have been in operation for over 50 years is organizations that are local and are connected to the community, but not only to the community, meaning the people, but also to the governing bodies and personnel. So we have been cultivating these relationships for a number of years. So, for example, I think about 2 months ago, we had a meeting with Dwight Evans, or board chair. Yes, Congressman Dwight Evans had a meeting with Congressman Dwight Evans. So we have been cultivating those relationships. We are also located in the Sullivan Trust, and Senator Curtis Thomas is also based in the building. So we
State rep.
yes, state representative.
Right.
Yeah. So we've been cultivating those relationships as well, because we do acknowledge that for us to really have a true impact, it does require, in some regards, every aspect
Absolutely.
of the society to collaborate and to come on one platform to support these individuals that are returning.
And unfortunately, most reentry programs cater to the male industry,
Yeah.
right?
That's a
But do
good
you
point.
OIC have any plans, or for dealing with the women
Yeah.
that's incarcerated? Because I go to the jails and speak, and I went to a female jail to speak one time, and when I go to the male jails and I walk through the visiting room, it's crowded.
Yeah.
It's crowded, and it's with the women and holding the babies
Yeah.
and the mothers and all the guys getting the visits. Then when I went through the women visiting room, it was quiet. It was about 3 watching TV, waiting for their names to be called. And when I went and spoke to the women, they don't get the visits.
Yeah.
They don't get the support, because in our mind we can't conjure up that they're in jail.
Yeah.
But that's the most growing population right now, is the
Yes.
females. So is OIC prepared to deal with that?
One of the cities that we're in actually is Minneapolis, and we recently started building relationship with a correctional facility in Minneapolis that is specifically focused on women that have been incarcerated. And we recently got permission actually to start engaging those women before they actually re-enter back into the society. So we've actually been taking some steps in that area in acknowledgement of the concern that you do share.
What other activities does OIC do besides reentry, like as far as in the community?
Yes.
Like, are y'all active in the community? Like with Gateway, we like feed the seniors every second Friday of the month. We just do a lot of stuff, one-on-one sessions, because that's critical.
Yes.
One-on-one with any individual is critical. Is OIC like hitting down that way as well?
Definitely. So I typically have to remind our audience that we are a national organization, and at the core of what we do is workforce development, preparing individuals to go into the workforce in a meaningful way. However, we understand that there are so many needs that an individual may have, right? So, for example, in Wilson, North Carolina, we have an affiliate that have a food drive biannually. Typically, they have over 5,000 individuals that would come out to be served in that particular way. We do have an affiliate that's based in Washington State. They focus on the elderly as well. So they have a nursing home where they care for their needs and really help individuals that are supporting those individuals that are aging to be able to continue to support, but also meet the obligation that they have to go to work. We also have programs that are specifically focused on youth development as well. One of the things that's clear to us is if we can engage the youth at a very early stage to get them to start thinking in a particular way, and to especially help them to make good decisions even around parenting, avoiding getting pregnant too early, then that really reduces the likelihood for them to fall into poverty, for example.
Absolutely.
And then at the same time, give them a chance to be productive citizens and to make good decisions.
And one thing, being a founder, CEO of Gateway to Reentry, and we deal with a lot of organizations out there in the same similar program,
Yes.
field. We give back.
Yes.
Not much because we don't have much, but we do give what we have. Is OIC structured like that too? It's like financially, like, okay, this is what we do, this is what we give back to help other organizations.
Yeah.
Because one thing you can't do is have your hand open for help and this one
Very
closed and not get back. It has to be a flow, a source that goes through you, me, back to the community.
Yes.
You know, like the urban dollar is only circulate for 37 seconds in the urban community. That's how that's going to be successful.
Yes, yeah. So one of the things that we do is, again, because we're a national organization, we do sometimes manage federal programs. So one of our funders is actually the U.S. Department of Labor. So in some cases, sometimes we do raise funding and get contracts from the Department of Labor, which we sub-grant to local organizations, most times through our immediate network or affiliates.
Absolutely.
But in some cases, we also look to hire, for example, women and minority contractors to support their business.
Right.
That's one way that we do it. We encourage or affiliates that are doing direct service to spend locally, right? So the money circulates within the community as well. We also look for ways to provide internship to students or to younger individuals to get more experience. So all of these different ways that we touch the community really leads to additional value and where the dollars and the resources circulate within the community that we actually serve.
So, how does local organizations get to reach out to OIC and become a part of that, an extension of OIC?
Wonderful. Well, one of the things that you could do is actually visit our website, www.oicofamerica.org, or you can contact us directly via phone, 215-236-4500. That's how you could actually get in touch with us directly.
Now, you being the director
Yes.
of OIC, what is your most difficult part of the job?
You know what, and I think we would agree on this, Mr. Fisher, that the most difficult part of our job is dealing with the reality that our folks go through. You understand? To deal with the fact that we have individuals that sometimes may have committed to go through a process, so to say, but them struggling to find food just to show up, so to say. We have individuals sometimes that show up and they can't focus because they're hungry. So we do try to find resources there to address those things. We have individuals that are committed and it's very clear that they want to make a change for their lives, but they're struggling with maybe having one or two children that they have to attend to. So to get to the point, the bottom line is the difficult part is the strong desire to see real change in the individuals that we serve, but struggling with the fact that they do face real challenge that sometimes delays, prohibit, or just lengthens the time that it takes for them to really realize the work that they're putting in.
Absolutely, and with one of my difficulties was, it's not anymore, is staff.
Yes.
And you have to have people that has compassion.
Yes, very true.
You know, you can't work around me or for me,
Yeah.
and I see you mistreating my people, regardless what type of day you have.
Yeah.
You have to have compassion, because when they walk through that door, most of them haven't received compassion.
Yeah.
You know, so the staff, that's one of the most difficult things You know, it was when I first started out.
Yeah.
That's why I have such an excellent team around me, because everyone has compassion and they believe in the mission, not me,
Yes.
the mission.
Yes.
Because I can die tomorrow, so the mission shouldn't die because I'm
Very
dead.
true.
That
Very
means
true.
I didn't do my job.
Yes.
You know, so that's why you still know about Harriet Tubman, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King,
Wonderful.
because the mission was bigger than them. That's why, and that's what it's about, and that's the structure I'm assuming that OIC is built to. Correct?
Yes, yes. So we actually have a very rigorous process that we bring our staff through to ensure that we're on one accord regarding the importance. At the core of what we do is our mission. So if an individual shows up and is not clear that they're committed to the work, no matter how much skill that they have, this is not necessarily the place for them.
So what we're going to do is going to close out. But what I would like for you to do is tell my audience exactly who you are again,
Yes.
the information on how to reach you, how to become a part of you, and what you would like for them to do for OIC.
Wonderful. Well, again, I'm from OIC of America, Jason White. I'm the Director of Operations and Strategy. And we would love for you to join us in the work that we're doing. You can contact us by going onto our website, www.oicofamerica.org, or you can contact us via phone at 215-236-4500. There are many opportunities to serve. If you're interested in, for example, reentry work, and you have resources that you'd like to contribute, that's an opportunity. You could volunteer with our organization. Or if you even have someone that you think need our service, you could reach out to us by, as I said, you could call us at 215-236-4500.
And there you have it. I'm Tracey L. Fisher with Jason White, and this has been a reentry point of view. Hi, I'm Tracey L. Fisher, the face of reentry. I'm going to do this short little video on returning citizen, the mind frame of the individual that come home from being incarcerated. People always ask me about how can I help someone when they come home? What does it take to help someone when they come home? Well, first of all, you have to understand the mind frame of the individual, he or she, when they come home. And most of the individuals that come home, not all, but most of them, majority of them, they come home broken. They come home weak, especially the males. They spend their whole time in jail working out, doing exercise, sitting around, reading frivolous books, watching frivolous TV, having frivolous conversation, right? But they don't work their brain mentally. So when they come home, physically they're strong, but mentally they're weak. And when they come into society, they don't know what to expect. They're afraid, and nobody knows how to deal with them because they're not telling you they're afraid once they enter back into society. But the reality of it is, everyone needs to see a psychiatrist. Not that you're crazy, but you need to see a psychiatrist to help you get your thoughts straight so you can understand what's going on out here in society. Because the only thing you know is an incarcerated environment. There's two yous when you come home. There's the incarcerated you, and there's the society you. Once you're in the society, obstacles come your way. Situations occur. And the only thing you know how to do is handle it with a incarcerated mind frame. And when you handle it with a incarcerated mind frame, that's why the recidivism rate is so high. That's why you go back to jail, because you didn't know how to function out here in society, because you was never taught how to be responsible when you was incarcerated. That's because when you was in society, you wasn't responsible. That's why you went to jail. So the rehabilitation part of jail is non-existent. It don't exist. You have to rehabilitate yourself. If you're looking for the government to rehabilitate you so you can come home and be productive in society, you done really lost your mind. Because there's no way in the world that the government is going to allow you to come home and be productive in society and stop their money flow. They make money off of you once you go to jail. Everybody gets paid when you go to jail. When you go to jail, you create over 100 jobs. The cops lock you up. The judge, the DA, the prosecutor, the public defender, the sheriff, the county judge, the COs, the wardens, everyone. Everybody makes money off you but you. but you. Now, when I was incarcerated years ago, they was making $32,000 a year. They made over $700,000 plus off of me just for them 22 years. Now they receiving $42,000 a year. It done went up $10,000. So if the government is making $1 trillion off of this business here, but they only putting in $100 million to actually so-called help it from actually occurring again, that's not going to happen. Anytime you have the power to make the laws, to lock people up, to build a place that would house them and receive government funding from them, for them, there's no way in the world you're going to put together a program to help them get out and stay out and never come back into your system. Now, my thing is this. The individuals that's home, that's out here in society, that's never been incarcerated before, re-entry affects you as well as it does the individual that's incarcerated. As well as it does the individual that's incarcerated. But we don't understand that until we right in front of it. Like for the men that's in jail and the women that's visiting them, writing them, sending them money, taking their phone calls. Once they come home, you haven't even done anything to prepare yourself to deal with them mentally. You haven't even took any re-entry courses because you don't believe you need them. Well, yes, you do. If you're dealing with that's like you have a child and he or she has a handicap that you never dealt with before. It's courses and classes you're going to have to take. It's information you're going to have to get so they can live in your house. You're going to have to make your house handicap ready and everything. That's reality. That's the same thing when individuals come home from being incarcerated. That's the exact same thing right there. When they come home from being incarcerated, they looking for someone to understand them. And then you're the one they laying with, sleeping with, living with, building a family with. You the one have to understand this just as much as them, if not even more. Because you already know how it is out here in society. We don't. We don't. Because we was never given responsibility when we was incarcerated. While we was incarcerated, let me tell you what happened. They had a job for us when we got there. We didn't have to fill out an application. We didn't have to get Obamacare because they already had Medicare care for you in there. They already had food for you in there. They had shelter for you in there, right? If I sent you $100 a month, it was up to you to do whatever you wanted to do with that $100. Whatever you wanted to do. You can spend it, you can save it, or you can send it home. Out here in society, before you even get the $100 is already spent on a light bill, the cable bill, your cell phone bill, or whatever. Responsibility. Responsibility, responsibility. We wasn't given any of that in there. So once we come home, the first thing they say to us now, go home and be productive in society and be responsible. How are we going to be responsible if we was never even taught to be responsible? That's what we have to understand. That's what the youth out here don't understand. That the stuff that they doing right now, they're not being responsible for their lives. Like when I explain to the youth, when they look up to basketball players and individuals like that. When you look up to basketball players and you see an NBA player, the only reason you've seen that NBA player because they was responsible for their talent. Meaning this, they protect their talent. So when they got to a certain age, their talent can take care of them. There's a lot of individuals incarcerated that can play ball better than some of the ones in the NBA. But because they didn't protect their talent, they are now incarcerated. You have to stay away from individuals that will bring you down. You can't take and lower your standards so they can be with you. Dummy yourself down. Make them smarten themselves up to be around you. This is what individuals don't understand. These are the things that you need to understand. When a man come home or a woman come home from being incarcerated, the first thing they don't need is a relationship. Because they're not stable for a relationship. Especially if you've been going a decade or more. You're not stable for a relationship. You're not used to a relationship. You're not used to sharing nothing. While you're incarcerated, your bunk is your bunk. Your shower shoes are your shower shoes. Your soap, your deodorant, your toothpaste, your food you buy from commissary. All that is just for you. You ain't buying nothing to share with anyone. All that is just for you. And now you've been doing stuff for you, just for you, for 10 years or more. Now you come home and jump into a relationship immediately.